Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Simona Cotoni and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada. Russian forces step up attacks in battle for control of eastern Ukraine. Ottawa to maintain mask requirements for travelers after US drops rules. Ontario to allow new home sales tactic that would change the bidding processes. Never did I myself reach the point of striking Ms. Heard, Johnny Depp testifies in court. Sunwing delays reported for third day as computer glitch continues to affect check-in system. Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation report annual pace of housing start in Canada slowed in March. The treatment of newcomers under Canada's immigration system is frankly appalling. Sixers beat undermanned Raptors 112-97 to take a 2-0 playoff series lead. Maple Leaf star Matthews remain out of Tuesday matchup against Flyers. Winter weather travel advisory issued for parts of southern Ontario due to snow. So those were the headlines. Now let's jump right into the details. Russia ratcheted up its battle for control of Ukraine's eastern industrial heartland, assaulting cities and towns along a boomerang-shaped front hundreds of kilometers long in what both sides described as a new phase of the war. After a Russian push to the capital failed to overrun the city, the Kremlin declared that its main goal was the capture of the eastern Donbas region, where Moscow-backed separatists have been fighting Ukrainian forces for 8 years. If successful, the offensive would give President Vladimir Putin a vital piece of Ukraine and badly needed victory that he could present to the Russian people amid the war's mounting casualties and the economic hardships caused by the West's sanctions that followed Russia's invasion on February 24th. It would also effectively slice Ukraine into two and deprive it of main industrial assets concentrated in the east, including coal mines, metal plants, and the machine-building factories. Transport Minister Omar Al-Gabra is giving no indication his government plans to drop its masking requirement for air and train passengers in Canada soon. His comments came after a federal judge in Florida struck down a Biden administration requirement that passengers wear face coverings on airplane and mass transit. On Monday night, the Transportation Security Administration said it would no longer enforce the masking requirement. Airline and airport across the U.S. swiftly began to repeal their masking requirement for passengers. The Ontario government is introducing new real estate regulations that would allow home sellers to share bids and their property and disclose the details of the competing offer. As the system stands now, individuals looking to put an offer on a home do so blindly without knowing how much their competitors are offering above the asking price. The new regulation will give sellers the option to opt for an open offer process. With these changes, hardworking Ontarians can rest assured knowing that our government has their back as they embark their journey of home ownership, the Minister of Government and Consumer Affairs, Ross Romano, said. Actor Johnny Depp testified today that he never struck his ex-wife Amber Heard and was challenging her accusation in $50 million U.S. defamation case in part to protect his children from false information about his behavior. Speaking softly and slowly, Depp said in Virginia courtroom that it was a complete shock about 6 years ago when Heard made some quite heinous and disturbing allegation that he became violent during their relationship. A courtroom judge in Fairfax County is overseeing the trial, which in its second week and is expected to last for 6 weeks. Heard's counterclaim can be decided as a part of the trial. Heard is seeking $100 million in damages from Depp, according to the court papers.
Relationship with Miss Heard. It was, from what I recall and what I remember, she was it was as if she was too good to be true. She was attentive, she was loving, she was smart, she was kind, she was funny, she was understanding, And we had many things in common, certain blues music and music, literature, things of that nature. So for that year or year and a half, it was amazing. There were a couple of things that, I don't know, stuck in my head that I noticed that I thought might be a little bit of a dilemma at some point. For example, if I worked quite a lot, and when I would come home from work, I would come in the house or the hotel, and she would sit me down on the couch and give me a glass of wine and take my boots off, set them to the side, and I'd never experienced anything like that in my life. I just never thought I just never experienced that before. And it became a regular thing that she did. This kind of routine. And I remember one night I came home from work and I think she was on the phone or something and busy. She was doing something and
Travelers trying to get on the Sunwing flights are continuing to face hour-long delay today as the computer glitch affecting their airline check-in system continues. On Sunday and Monday, hundreds of passengers were stranded at Pearson International Airport for a good chunk of the day as Sunwing delayed virtually all its flights due to the network issue. The airline said its check-in system provider continues to experience a system outage, which in turn affecting its flight operation for a third consecutive day. It says the staff has been able to manually process approximately 15 flights since yesterday with the goal to manually process as many more flights as possible today, but it says the additional flight delays can be expected. Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation says the annual pace of the housing started ticked lower in March compared with the February as the urban starts of the apartment, condos, and other type of multi-unit housing projects slowed. The National Housing Agency says the seasonally adjusted rate of the housing start came in 246,000 units compared with 250,000. Set aside the scandal of how IRCC bungled the rescue and transport of Afghan and now Ukrainian refugees, these 1.8 million people are candidates who have passed an initial screening and have the skills to integrate quickly. These are people we have encouraged to come to Canada through years of promoting our openness, tolerance, and enthusiasm to newcomers as one of the world's most successful immigrant nations. These would-be newcomers are only guarantee of prosperous future, and this is how we treat them. It is frankly appalling. The solution to the mess has three necessary ingredients: drop-dead case clearance targets, tough, intrusive supervisory oversight by a third party, and more money and staff. A solution to the government has hinted in its under consideration is simply wiping out the waiting list, a tactic used by the Harper government. Joel Embiid took a stiff arm moment after tip-off and a 7-footer pushed back. Trying to keep his composure, Embiid absorbed a few more deliberate blows from a Raptor defense, trying to bully the big guy. Embiid played every bit like the all-star who carried the Sixers this season. He's the most dominant player in the league, Rivers said. Toronto Maple Leafs star forward Austin Matthews will sit out his second straight game with an undisclosed injury, head coach Sheldon Keefe announced this morning. Keefe refused to divulge the nature of the injury for Matthews, who also sat out Toronto's 4-2 victory over the New York Islanders on Sunday. A winter weather travel advisory remains in effect for parts of southern Ontario, although it has been lifted for GTA, London, Hamilton, Windsor, and Peterborough. A spring snowstorm is forecasted to drop up to 10 centimeters of snow. The advisory stretches from the Kingston region to Quebec border.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Simona Cutoni, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Adios.